So students, we are now going to learn regarding the eyes. Eyes are one of the sensory organs which are concerned with vision. Eyes are concerned with vision, and these eyes are present inside the eye orbits. Eyes are present inside the eye orbits. Eyes have a spherical shape. You can observe the shape in the picture. Eyes, they have a spherical shape, okay. And you can observe that there are 3 layers in the eye. So the eye is consisting of 3 layers. I have marked it as a plain layer, a deep blue layer and a red layer, okay. So eye, it consists of 3 layers in it. The first layer is the outermost layer. It is called as sclera. You can locate this sclera in the picture. This is sclera, it is the outermost layer. It consists of connective tissue. It consists of connective tissue. Sclera, it consists of connective tissue, okay ma'am. And you can observe that sclera in the anterior side, it is called as cornea. Sclera on the anterior side of the eye is called cornea. Anterior side of the sclera is called as cornea. This cornea is nothing but the white part of our eyes, whatever we see is cornea only, okay. The white part of the eye that we see is called as cornea. This is the outermost layer of the eye. It is sclera consisting of connective tissue. Anterior part of the sclera is called as cornea. So this is sclera. Here on the anterior side it is called as cornea, okay. The next layer of the eye, the second layer of the eye, the middle layer of the eye is called as choroid, okay. The middle layer of the eye, it is called as choroid, okay. This choroid layer is a highly vascular layer. Choroid layer is a highly vascular layer. Highly vascular in the sense it is richly supplied with blood vessels, okay. It is highly vascular in the sense it is richly supplied with blood vessels. So I have indicated it using the deep blue region. So it is choroid, it is highly vascular region, okay. So this and choroid part towards the anterior side, it forms a very thickened part called as ciliary body on both the sides. You can see the choroid on both the sides, it is forming a highly thickened part called as choroid. Here I have indicated it using dotted lines, okay. Using dots I have indicated the ciliary body. This choroid, it extends forward, and in the anterior side it forms a thickened part called as ciliary body, okay. In the anterior side, the choroid layer, it forms a thickened part called as ciliary body, okay. And this ciliary body is the pigmented part of the eye. It is the pigmented part of the eye, okay. So whatever the color of the eyeball we see, like we see some people having brown eyes, some people having black eyes, somebody having blue eyes, isn't it? So that color of the middle region of the eyeball is due to the ciliary body only. It is the only pigmented part of the eye. That means it is the only colored part of the eyeball. It is the colored part of the eyeball, okay ma'am. So this is regarding the ciliary body, okay. Attached to the ciliary body, there is iris muscles. There is a group of muscles called as iris attached to the ciliary body. You can see, I will just here show it by dark lines, okay. Attached to the ciliary body there is iris, okay. Attached to the ciliary body there is iris. And let us learn regarding the function of iris later on. So you can observe that there is one large transparent crystal-like lens present in the center of the eye, in between the 2 iris, okay. In between the 2 iris there is one small crystal-like transparent lens is present in between the 2 iris. In between the 2 iris, the small crystal-like and transparent lens is present. Okay, so this lens is held in position by iris, and also there are some ligaments you can observe. These are some ligaments, which connect the lens to the iris. Okay, there are some ligaments which connect the lens to the iris, this part. Okay, there are some ligaments which connect the lens to the iris, and iris will hold the lens in its position. Okay, something should be holding the lens in its position, right? So the iris will hold the lens in its position by using some ligamental structures. Okay, and the other point regarding iris is, students, here you can observe that iris is holding the lens in its position, right? So this region between the two iris, is called as pupil. Okay, note this pupil very clearly, students. The region between the two iris is called as pupil. Okay, the central part of the eye between the two iris is called as pupil, and this pupil, it will regulate the amount of light entering into the lens. Okay, that is the main function of the pupil. Pupil will regulate the amount of light entering into the lens. Okay, ma'am. This is regarding the second layer of the eye, that is choroid. Okay, once we will revise regarding choroid, because we have learnt a lot regarding choroid, right? So the middle layer of the eyeball is choroid. It is very thin and highly vascular. This blue part is indicating choroid. In the anterior side, it will be thickened to form ciliary body on both the sides. This ciliary body is the only pigmented part of the eye. It is responsible for the eye color blue, black, brown, whatever. Okay, and on the ciliary body, iris muscles are attached. We can also observe a lens. This lens is actually small crystal like transparent part. So through the lens, the light will enter into the inside of the eye. Through the lens only, the light will enter into the inner side of the eye. Okay, ma'am. So students, the lens is held in position by some ligaments which connect the lens to the iris. So iris is holding the lens in its position. The space between the two iris is called as pupil. The space between the two iris is called pupil. Pupil will regulate the amount of light entering inside the eyeball. Okay, pupil will regulate the amount of light entering inside the eyeball. Okay, ma'am. So let us learn more regarding the last part of the eyeball. The last part of the eyeball, the next part of the eyeball is retina. Okay, the innermost region, I have indicated it using red color. It is the innermost layer, the third layer in the eyeball. It is retina. Retina consists of 3 types of cells in it. 3 types of cells are present in the retina. From inner side to outer side, that means from the choroid towards the outer side, let us study. Okay, there are 3 types of cells in retina. They are ganglionic cells, bipolar cells, and photoreceptor cells. Ganglionic cells, bipolar cells, and photoreceptor cells. They will be arranged in this order. I will just mention it here. GBP laga mention chestanu chudandi. GBP. So GBP. In that way these are arranged. Ganglionic cells, bipolar cells, and photoreceptor cells. In that way, from inner side to outer side, the cells are arranged in this way. Ganglionic cells, bipolar cells, and photoreceptor cells. Okay. So we will first concentrate on photoreceptor cells. Regarding ganglionic cells and bipolar cells, we will learn regarding them when we are learning regarding the mechanism of vision. Okay. So bipolar photoreceptor cells. These photoreceptor cells are of 2 types. They are rods and cones. Okay, these are the 2 types of cells. They contain some photopigments. They contain some photopigments. Rods and cones are the photoreceptor cells. They contain some photopigments. That is why these rods and cones are involved in the vision. Okay. These rods, they are involved in dim light vision or twilight vision. Okay. Rods are involved in dim light vision or twilight vision. So, that vision due to rods is called scotopic vision. That vision due to rods is called scotopic vision. Okay. So, these rods, they contain a photopigment called rhodopsin. They contain a photopigment called rhodopsin. And this photopigment rhodopsin, it contains a derivative of vitamin A. Okay. Rods contain a photopigment called rhodopsin which contains a derivative of vitamin A. So, students, this is regarding rods. Rods are involved in dim light vision or twilight vision. So, such vision is called scotopic vision. These rods contain a photopigment called rhodopsin which is a derivative of vitamin A. Okay. Now, let us learn regarding cones. Cones are those cells, cones are those photoreceptor cells which are involved in daylight vision or bright light vision. Okay. So, these rods are involved in photopic vision. Rods are involved in photopic vision. That means they are involved in vision during the daylight. Okay. Then there are three types of cones. There are three types of cones sensitive to three different colors. They are red, green and blue. There are three types of cones sensitive to red, green and blue colors. Okay. So, this stimulation of each different type of cone will cause the generation of each different color vision. Okay. If red colored cones are stimulated, we will be seeing a red color. Green color cones are stimulated, green color. Blue color cones are stimulated, blue color. In that way, according to the color we are seeing, the different types of cones will be stimulated. What if all the cones are stimulated at the same time? What if all the cones are stimulated at the same time? It will create the generation of white color. It will create the generation of white color if all the cones are stimulated at the same time. Okay. So, this is regarding rods and cones, students. Coming back to the picture, okay. So, there is a point in the eye, okay. There is a point in the eye near on the posterior side of the eye. There is a point where the optic nerve will be exiting the eyeball and the retinal blood vessels the blood vessels of the eye will come into the eye, okay. There is a spot in the eyeball on the posterior side, this place from where the optic nerve will be exiting the eye and also the blood vessels of the eye will come into the eye. So, this spot here, it is consisting of no rods or no cones. So, this place from where the optic nerve exits the eyeball and the blood vessels come into the eyeball, okay. So, that part of the eye where optic nerve exits the eyeball and blood vessels of eye enter into the eyeball, okay. That part of the eye where the optic nerves exit the eyeball and the blood vessels enter into the eye, there are no photopigment cells. There are no photopigment cells. So, because there are no photopigment cells, this particular region is not involved in the formation of vision. This particular region is not involved in formation of vision. So, this is the spot from where optic nerve goes out. blood vessels for the eye come inside. So, this spot is having no rods or no cones. That means this region is not involved in the formation of vision, not involved in the formation of the image. So, this region is called as a blind spot. This region is called as blind spot. Okay, this blind spot is not involved in formation of any image. So, it is called as blind spot. No image is formed on that particular part. Okay, ma? And if you just go just above the blind spot, there is a central yellow colored part. I have not mentioned it in yellow, but still there is a yellow colored part just above the blind spot, this region. Okay, there is a central yellow colored part. There is a yellow colored part just above the blind spot. There is a yellow colored region just above the blind spot. It is called as macula lutea. Okay, there is a yellow colored region just above the blind spot. It is called as macula lutea. Okay, this macula lutea, it will have a central part which is called as fovea. The central part of macula lutea is called fovea. You can observe this central part of macula lutea is called as fovea. Okay, this fovea, it consists of only cones in it. Fovea, it consists of only cones in it. That means fovea is concerned with the sharp vision. Fovea will come into function during sharp vision. Fovea will come into function during sharp vision. Okay, ma'am? So, this is regarding fovea. So, students, with this we finished to learn all the parts of the eyeball. We finished to learn regarding the sclera, the outermost layer of the eyeball, cornea, the anterior part of the sclera, choroid, ciliary body, iris, the ligaments, lens, pupil, and we have also learned regarding retina, blind spot, fovea, right. So, one last point that we need to learn regarding the eyeball is, I will just erase everything and make everything clear now. Okay. So, take a look into the picture, students, take a look into the picture. So, in between the lens and cornea, this is cornea, okay. In between the lens and cornea, there is a chamber, okay. Between lens and cornea, there is a chamber called as aqueous chamber. In between lens and cornea, there is chamber called aqueous chamber. It is filled with very thin fluid like liquid, okay. It is consisting of thin fluid like liquid, and which is called as aqueous humor, which is called aqueous humor. Okay, aqueous chamber consists of thin fluid like aqueous humor. Coming to the other side, between the lens and the retina, there is vitreous chamber. Between the lens and the retina, onto the other side, there is vitreous chamber. This vitreous chamber will be filled with a gel like liquid which is called as vitreous humor, which is called vitreous humor. Aqueous chamber filled with aqueous humor, vitreous chamber filled with vitreous humor. Aqueous humor is thin and fluid like, vitreous humor is gel like, okay. So, there is aqueous humor and vitreous humor in the aqueous and vitreous chambers. They will help in maintaining the position of the eye, they will help in maintaining the shape of the eye, okay ma'am. So, this is regarding the structure of the eye completely, students. So, in our next class, students, we will be learning regarding the functioning of the eye, how the image is produced, and how the regarding the different functions of the other parts of the sensory nervous system, sensory system that we have to learn regarding ear. So, in our next class, we will finish off learning regarding mechanism of vision and ear in our next class. This is all for today, students. I will meet you again in the next class. Thank you all for joining the class.